Man, I sure do know how to make people click on a video, don't I? Yeah, you guys clicked on that one, I know. Right? And man, this is probably pretty controversial. Let's get this part out of the way, right? I am a convicted felon. This is Airsoft. You know, if I did have real firearms in the mix, I wouldn't be putting them on YouTube, that's for sure. Man, I think felons should have tactical gear. I think felons should play Airsoft. I think felons should have tactical know-how. They should know the difference between cover and concealment and all that, and they should use this information for good and not evil. You should pay your debt to society, and then we should collectively demand that our rights be given back to us. You know, like this whole, oh, the clemency thing is optional. If we pay our debt to society and we're not on probation and we're not causing trouble, you know, for one, I went to prison for BS that I didn't commit. And most of us, you know, we didn't have our day in court. They coerced us into signing plea bargains. So, you know, the idea that, you know, once this 7-year period is up or whatever, I really want you to give me my rights back because, you know, we won't go into it on this video. But, yeah, I think convicted felons should definitely own whatever it is that they can legally own. There's a lot of things you can legally own. You know, a flamethrower is an agricultural tool. You know, interesting enough, believe it or not, the new Black Panther Party has they have an archery corps, and a lot of people made fun of them for that. But no, that's actually pretty clever, you know. Convicted felons can have crossbows, you know. Like I'm not really a hateful person. That's why I made the Haitian machete video, because I thought the subject was interesting. I'm not gonna have a rigid mentality, you know. Yeah, I worship Odin, and yeah, I love my own culture, but we're gonna be looking at other cultures from all over the world, like only thinking that my culture has something to offer. That type of mentality right there, that'll get you killed, right? Now, why do I think you should own load-bearing equipment and stuff like that? For one, you could have stuff on it like the handy-dandy pepper ball gun. And you know, the pepper ball gun, I've done many videos on this. Absolute must-have for a felon. Get a pepper ball gun. You need something that you could use to hold the magazines for your pepper ball gun, right? So I got my pepper ball gun mags right here. And then you'll notice I'm running large mag pouches. And the reason I'm running large mag pouches is pretty simple, because if there was ever an emergency, I don't know what kind of system I'll be running. If I had an emergency, you don't know what type of system you'll be running. You don't know if you'll be running a 5.56 or 308, 7.62. So just out of an abundance of caution, you want big mag pouches. So whatever kind of mag you want can fit in those pouches. You know, you may not have the luxury of being able to decide what weapon you have if all hell breaks loose and society collapses as a convicted felon. So when you build your load-bearing equipment as a convicted felon, definitely run big mag pouches. That's a must. This is the 511 Tactical VTAC load-bearing equipment. I've done other videos about this. Definitely want you guys to check out my old videos. Got an IFAK on here with a tourniquet, and I got trauma shears and stuff like that. And this is just something good to keep in your closet. You know where your first aid kit is, and you got one in the closet. Boom, there you go right there. It's just a good idea for a prepper to have these things, to be familiar with these things. You know, it's a good idea for felons to become preppers, because we have so much to offer the prepper community, because we have actually lived with, and in some cases been, the very people these people are preparing to fight against. You know, we have, at the bare minimum, we've lived with these people, and some of us have been these people. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. For me, I've never been a wolf. I've never been a wolf. I'm just a very, very misunderstood sheepdog. I've never been a wolf. I know people think I'm a wolf, but I'm just a very misunderstood sheepdog that went to prison. That's all I really am, right? But you know, some of you out there, you used to be a wolf, you know. And then even me, I've been in prison with the wolves. I got lots of friends that are wolves, and I'm trying to turn them into sheepdogs. I'm trying to turn these wolves into sheepdogs, but it's ultimately, that's up to them. I can't make them. They may continue to be wolves, but what I can do is I can educate good people. I can educate normal tax-paying citizens about the real threats that they face. A lot of people that I've done time with might even feel a little bit betrayed by that, right? But the fact of the matter is, it's these people that are getting out of prison, this shit is no way to live. You're in the 21st century. The ROI on being a criminal just ain't there. You got drones tracking you. You got robotic dogs. You got drones up in the air. There's no reason to continue to be a criminal in the 21st century. I'm going to say right here, the age of the criminal is over with. The age of the criminal is over with. So it's time for us to get our convicted felons out there, you know, be part of society, be a taxpayer. Do you look at these body cam videos and stuff? Do you really want to be treated like a child by your government? Do you really want to be pulled out of your car and treated like a child by your government? I don't think, I think I'd rather die than go through that. So I'm not even going to put myself in a position to go through that, because if I'm not even going to place myself in that position. And you know, when you're riding dirty and you're doing these things, especially the way you do them, I don't know, I've had enough of authorities treating me like a little kid for one lifetime, so I don't put myself in that position, you know. And I know a lot of people hate law enforcement and don't like law enforcement, but the reality is they got a family to feed and they got a fucking job to do. It's their job to enforce the law. If I walk into let's say I walk into the nightclub and I start going arg, and I'm wearing an eye patch, and I got a parrot and an eye patch, and I'm going arg, and I'm acting like a pirate, you're gonna think I'm an absolute bug, right? You're gonna think I'm a fucking Looney Tune, right? Now let me ask you this: what if I told you that's the same way I feel when you got these people propping up the gangsta subculture that should have died in the 90s? You got a bunch of people romanticizing a past that was never that cool to begin with and acting like it was cooler than it actually was. But even so, that shit's dead. Let that shit die. Like, these kids have to stop trying to be gangsters and shit. That shit is over with. The technology is too good. They got drones. They got satellites and like high altitude surveillance drones and stuff watching you. If you're a kingpin, they're gonna get you. The ROI is not there. Let me tell you the difference between your local drug dealer kingpin and your computer nerd that has a job with IBM. The computer nerd with a job with IBM that works in a cubicle, you might make fun of him, but he's got a better retirement plan than the so-called kingpin. The kingpin's going to lose all his shit to asset forfeiture. So yeah, it's time for, convicted felons have to, we got to start having more respectability. The recidivism rate is at 77%, and I know these prisons treat us like shit, but you know what? They've made us hard. They've made us hardcore. These prisons made us stronger. They did treat us like shit. You know what? And that made us stronger, and that should make us stoic, and that should make us honorable, and that should make us not want to go back to that stupid shit. If you're on drugs, get off them, because your dealer is pimping you. That's what's happening. Let's be responsible. Let's be part of fucking society, and you can own all these cool toys. And in a few short years, you'll be able to have the real version of this, pay your debt to society, file for clemency. Let's start a movement. Let's start a movement of being responsible citizens and not being fuck-ups. Let's do it. Why the fuck not? Hey, if you guys like this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon. Running this place is a fucking full-time job. You guys have no idea. It's hard running this place. So just make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon. I'm not really begging for money, but if you guys do want to donate, I could increase the production value and probably review some products. Here's my Cash App, putting the Cash App on the screen. If you're struggling, please do not send me money. I don't need it, really. This would just help make the production value of the videos even better. And you've seen my work ethic. You know I'm cranking out those videos every single day. Jordan Jareb, signing off.